We're live. Okay. Got the little live thing up in the corner. Hi everybody. We're this is my name is Roy Harris and we have go ahead Jay and tell everybody who you are.
Jason Jay Wilkes. Everyone calls me Jay Wilkes. It's just kind of a nickname that's kind of carried on for years and years. But coming to you from Detroit, I think Roy's coming to you from outside Seattle. So we're kind of trying to cover the time zones, East Coast, West Coast, and good day for us baseball fans in Detroit, and sad day for baseball fans in Seattle.
Yeah, well, can't win them all,
No, you can't, I guess.
but so we're really happy that you're joining us on this webinar, and I named it the fastest, easiest way to make money. And so I know what you're looking at. I'm just going to lay out. Here's the secret: fastest, easiest way to make money on the internet. And we'll cover some of that. But there's certain things I want to teach first because I think it's extremely important that you understand certain principles before you run off and go make Facebook ads or banner ads or build whatever web pages and the thousands of things that you can be doing as an entrepreneur on the internet. So I don't know where everybody's coming from. People who are completely new to the internet, people who are seasoned pros, maybe. Who knows? Maybe there are a few people that just want to see what we have and what we're teaching. So there may be a few. There may be a few people like that would like to see. But I'm guessing for the most part, most people that I've run into are complete newbies to the internet. And because of that, I want to take you to the very core of what you really need to know and what you have to understand before you run any kind of an operation, any kind of business, anything that is outside the norm of just going out and getting a job. And there's a lot of things I could teach you about that too, because I've done a lot of career coaching. And if you'd like to hire me as a career coach, I'm more than happy to go that route too. But there's a certain mindset that you're going to have to understand if you're going to be in business, and if you're going to be in business for yourself. And I'm going to tell you a few of the things that you're going to run into. So this has happened to me when I was getting started, and I was starting to put some videos out. And I'll tell you, videos are the best. I think they're the best form of advertising ever, for anything. If you learn how to do videos, I'm going to give you a secret right here. If you learn how to do videos and you learn how to do them correctly, and you learn some SEO tricks and some YouTube and Google tricks, so you can get through their screeners, and because they're, for the most part, they're still electronic screeners, and so because of that, it's easy for people to figure out what it is that they're looking for. So if you can learn how to do that, you can do anything. You can market yourself, you can market any of your local businesses, and you can make a really good living doing that. And we will be covering a lot of that, because that's kind of my specialty of what I've been focusing on. There are Facebook ads and social media, and I don't do that. I mean, you've really got to pick one thing. It's very important that you pick one thing. Get really good at that one thing, and then start teaching it to other people, and then you become the guru that everybody wants to have around. The guru that gets asked to teach or to speak on stage or to coach or mentor people. So if you can learn one skill and you really learn it very well, then you become very popular. I learned this from Mike Dillard, and I've heard it from many, many other people that the if you learn, and he stresses this, Mike Dillard, in anything, if you take any of his courses or about how to succeed in business, because he wrote Magnetic Sponsoring, and so anybody who's in an MLM business, it turned things around because. And most MLM businesses still do this. They still tell you to make a list of friends and family. Now, there's really nothing wrong with that, but after your fourth or fifth or sixth or 10th business that you've gone into and you contact the same friends and family, they quit answering your phone calls. They've got you blocked, and it's like, oh, it's him again. He must be into another thing. So if it's their first time into a network marketing business, hey, contact your friends and family. But I can assure you that after you've done it numerous times and have not succeeded, which unfortunately 97, 98% of people do not succeed in network marketing. And those are just facts. There's nothing. I'm not putting it down because it's a great business model. It's just the facts that most people don't succeed in it, and most people don't succeed in any business. Even if if you open a hamburger stand, or if you open a gift shop, or if you almost anything that you do on your own, you will fail. I will tell you, you will fail. Don't even try. I hate to say that, but don't try. You're going to get knocked down, and maybe you can't get back up again after that, because it's going to hurt you emotionally, it's going to hurt you financially. If you do try to take on the world by yourself, it almost never works. There are rare cases that it has, but for the most part, you need something. You need someone, you need a coach, you need a mentor at the minimum. Then you need an entire team behind you if you're going to succeed. But forgot where I was really going with this, but I just want to let you know that it's tough out there. It really is. And so some of the things that's happened to me, like if you do videos, you're gonna have people at work make really rude comments, or even better, they're gonna get a whole group together and they're gonna be in the break room and they're gonna be watching your videos, and especially when they know you're coming around, and they're gonna be laughing and making fun of you, and that's hard. I mean, it's really difficult. I mean, because most of our egos can't handle, especially our coworkers. It's bad enough when our family is telling us, go get a job, go quit doing that stuff. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your money. And you're going to hear this over and over and over again. So you've got to get yourself prepared mentally. And this is what I want to help teach you in the beginning, is you've got to build muscle. You've got to build stamina in your soul, I guess, yourself. You've got to be able to have a desire that's so strong that no matter what comes along, whether it's a group of people at work making fun of your videos, whether it's your spouse saying, not again, will you get off the computer? The kids need to do their homework, and you're doing that thing again, and I'm just so sick and tired of that. You think I've ever heard that before? it takes a lot. It takes a lot of stamina. So I want to help you understand what you need to do to overcome that. So in these first few weeks, we're going to build the groundwork. I mean, this is, if you went out and paid for this will cost you thousands of dollars to get this kind of training, because I've been, and I should give you my background, because for those who don't know me, I'm not, you know, if you type in Roy Harris, which is pretty common, a common name, if you type that into Facebook, I'm going to be the first thing that shows up. So I must know a little bit, because if you can, you know, if my name was Stroganoff, Waskier, I don't know, something, you know, and I showed up first, it's like, oh, you know, yeah. But if your name is Roy Harris, you know, there's composers, there's a karate dude. If you Google me, you're going to find those guys first. But they don't Facebook, apparently. One of them's dead, so I'm guessing he doesn't Facebook. And I'm not sure about the karate dude. So
glad to see you're outranking the dead guy.
I outrank the dead guy. Okay.
That's the only way you can do it. You either got to know what you're doing, or you got to wait for everyone else to die. That's the only two ways to get on top.
But I'm guessing I'm not the only Roy Harris out there besides those two that will show up first in Google. I can't beat the dead guy in Google. He's I guess a really famous composer, yeah. And I can't beat him. So I must know a little bit about what I'm doing, and I don't even Facebook except just to throw stuff out there. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just have a Facebook page and I put stuff on it. But that's not the way you're supposed to market on Facebook, I can assure you, because I don't think I've ever signed anybody up from that. If I did, I didn't realize I did, because they came in through another way, because they can't find me on Facebook unless they just message me and say, oh, hey, I like your thing. Well, I have actually had people do that, come to think of it, like message me and it's like, what is this that you're into, and can I do it? And it's like, well, sure. Of course, if you'd like to. So the first things we're going to cover is, you know, basically get your head on straight. I think this is extremely important. You have to know where you're coming from. Everybody's different, and so we're going to have to dig inside your head a little bit to help you understand where you're coming from and where you're trying to go. So that's first thing. And so we're going to cover that first. Then we're going to go into finding out what it is you really want. And one thing I can tell you right now, if your want is I want to make money, you're already a failure. You can't do this business and that be your only objective. It definitely does not work. It doesn't hold up to obstacles, objections, criticism, harassment, because hey, if you just want money, go get a job, right? And that's the way people have been taught. So then we're going to go into goal settings, and I know you've heard goal settings, but I do them a little differently. There's SMART goals, but I do them differently than just the SMART goals. That's if you don't know what SMART goals, you'll find out as we go through this. And then I want to cover how to overcome these obstacles that I was talking about, like the group in the break room making fun of you, watching your videos, the spouse, the mother-in-law, whoever. That's making, is on your back all the time about give this thing up because you haven't made any money in it. And then you got your own self, and that's kind of what we're kind of covering now, is you're your own worst enemy. You can have all these outside influences, but if you don't believe you're going to make it, you won't make it. So we're going to kind of cover those kind of things, and we're going to throw tidbits in there about how to, maybe how to do some videos. Jay's into Facebook, and he's going to show you how to do some social marketing. So I hope you tune into these, and if you can't watch them live, they'll be out on YouTube, and so just search for them. Hopefully it's going to be really hard to rank for what I named it, fastest, easiest way to make money on the internet, because that's probably the hardest keywords to, if you don't know anything about keywords, it's probably some of the hardest keywords to rank for. So we're gonna give it a whirl and see if we can play a little some SEO games, and that's search engine optimization, and you do that even with videos. It's not just websites. We're gonna see if we can't rank. I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna put a few of these out there. We're gonna do a few weeks. And then we're going to really concentrate on going after getting these videos ranked first for fastest, easiest way to make money on the internet. So stick around. I think you're going to have a heck of a ride. So I got to turn some time. Oh, I didn't really go into my background very much. I'm sorry. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. Pretty much when I was young, I started reading at a very early age, and my folks were so poor. How poor were they? My folks are so poor. They were literally dirt poor. Their first house actually had a dirt floor. That drove my mom insane, because she's a cleaning nut, and you can't clean a dirt floor. So they didn't stay there very long, but that was the only thing they could afford when they first got married, because neither one of my parents had even any. They may have had a little bit of high school. That's all. I mean, 9th, 10th grade, a little bit of 9th, 10th grade. I think my dad 9th. My mom got started on the 10th grade. So they had no education to speak of, and they had nothing to start out with. And when they first started out, the Korean War or conflict, whatever you want to call that one, was going on, and my dad was draft age, and so nobody wanted to hire him. And because of that, he couldn't get a job, so they had to live wherever they could. And it was very, very difficult for them, and so I grew up very poor. I was so embarrassed about where I lived and everything that I didn't want anybody knowing where I even lived, and never, ever had any friends from school come to my house. Never. I'd always go to their house. They probably always wondered why. It's like, I always made up an excuse all the way through school, and you have to understand how hard that was. A lot of you may have experienced the same thing of being so embarrassed about something, especially the poverty of your family. And so I started reading books at a very early age. I don't know no good reason that I can think of. Nobody read to me. I just had this appetite to read. And I started reading a lot of books on famous people, because when you're poor, you want to know about people who are rich. I mean, it just kind of makes sense. You don't read about poor people. I can assure you, I don't think there's any poor people that read about poor people. Okay? So I read about rich people, and I noticed there's a common theme with most people who had quite a bit of money, in that besides being doctors and lawyers, that I saw on the TV shows, the ones that seemed to make as much or more were salespeople. And I said, salespeople. That I could do that. Now, I was the shyest person in the world when I was young. I mean, really, really shy. Somebody'd come to the door. Even when I was like 5, 6. Somebody'd come and I would run. I'd run away. Um, I was just very, very shy, and so I knew I was going to force myself to overcome that shyness. And the way I did it, and to learn the sales thing, is I volunteered whenever they were selling candy or anything, and then I got my folks in. I when I was only about, I don't know, 10 or something, 10 or 11 maybe, I got my folks to get into a network marketing business or multi-level marketing business. It's called Bestline. Anybody who remembers that back then. So I could take the products out and and sell them. So I thought, I'm going to get rich, and a lot of people have, but no, I was so bad that that I don't know that I ever sold any of those products, and but I did sell a lot of candy and things like that because people would they want to help kids out. So especially if you're selling soap door to door, unless you're the Fuller Brush guy, people don't want to deal with you. But if you're selling candy, they'll buy candy from a kid. So I got better, and then I started carrying a vacuum cleaner, a Kirby vacuum, very heavy. I used to carry that door to door and clean people's carpets just to show them the Kirby. So that's what I worked myself up to. Wow, that's how I started putting myself through school. So but also at 12, I was studying a book called, or a magazine called Success Unlimited, and it was published by W. Clement Stone. It was fabulous. The Success books or magazines are still in business, and it's still part of that original empire of Success Unlimited or magazines. And so I learned about W. Clement Stone at a very early age when I was only 12. And at the same time, I didn't mow yards. Just to give you an idea. I always thought bigger. I said, there are bigger pieces of property owned by somebody, and they have to be kept up, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to mow yards for $5. That's just way too much work. And you got all these little ladies that are, oh, you missed a spot. You get over there, or you ran over my petunias out, and it's like they were planted in the middle of the yard, and there wasn't anything around them. They looked like a weed to me. Anyway, so I didn't want to have to deal with those things. And so I found that there are properties that were owned by banks. Well, banks have a lot of money. So I started negotiating with the banks to take care of their properties. Now, those are acres, 2, 3, 5, 10 acres, of property that were in town that had to be maintained because the city still said, hey, you've got to maintain this property. So I got my job doing that. And then I've subscribed to 2 magazines. One was Success Unlimited. The other one was Popular Science. And I got a master's degree in electrical engineering. But I ended up working for W. Clement Stone, and I learned so much. He was the benefactor to Napoleon Hill. Anybody who knows who Napoleon Hill is. And then just a few years ago, I was working working with Donald Trump. And if you check some, I've got videos and stuff out there that shows me working. So I learned so much from those individuals, and so from so many other individuals I've worked with, but not quite as famous as those. But that was my goal, was to go to work for W. Clement Stone. So I went after that, and I did, and I learned a tremendous amount from him. So I got to shut up. Jay talk. Otherwise, he's never going to come and join me again on these webinars if I'm just going to sit here and talk all the time. So, and then we're going to get into a little bit because it's already almost 25 after the hour. So, Jay, go ahead, talk for a while, and I'll shut up. I promise. Really, no, I will. I'll shut up. No, go ahead. I'll shut up.
Yeah, no, I won't talk. I won't talk too long, but no, I come from pretty humble, I'd say beginnings too. I was a single, had a single mom. There was three of us boys that she was raising. She'd work 2, 3 jobs basically just to put food on the table, and she would also volunteer at a community center, in whatever little bit of spare time she had. So I was always around that atmosphere and in that environment. So that's kind of what got me starting to do a lot of volunteer work, a lot of service work that I still do to this day, and it's very important to me. But also the other thing that I picked up from her was that you have to work hard to have like any kind of, to have the things you needed. You had to have hard work and be dedicated. But the downside to that, because she was a salesperson also, and I was the youngest, so she would take sales appointments whenever she could get them, if they'd be in the evenings and the weekends, on Sundays, whenever other people would turn down appointments, she would take them because we always needed the money. Well, me being the youngest, there was never anyone around to watch me or whatever, so I would get dragged around to all these different appointments and different things like that. So, years later, when one of the companies she was working at was looking for, they were really growing in this market over here in Detroit market, and they needed some salespeople, and they're like, well, Jason's been around, he knows all about this business and these products, would he want to come on in sales? And and they asked me, and I was like, sales, I don't want to get into sales. But then I fell into it, I got into it, I tried it out, and I just excelled at it right away. I mean, within 6 months, I went from being a store rep to do an assistant manager, and within a year, I went to managing a store. And this was a store that did window coverings and blinds and different things like that, drapery, all different things like that. So I went to managing a store that was doing a couple $1 million a year in business, and it was, at the time I was only, this would have been 98, 99, so I would have been 22 years old at the time. At the time I was the youngest store manager that this company had. House of Blinds was the name of the company, and I fell in love with sales. Like I said, I didn't ever think I was going to be into it, but I fell in love with sales. The only thing that I didn't fall in love with was the time that it took. The money was great, and that's what I always like about sales, is that the money is great because you control your own income, and you can make as much as you want or as little as you want because it's all pretty much up to you. But the thing that is that you have to dedicate a lot of time, especially in the beginning. I mean, these were retail stores, so you're working some days, 9 to 9s or 9 to 8 was the couple long days they have a week, and you never have weekends. And then I started, so I was doing that, and then I would buying all kinds of toys, things like that. I was buying 4-wheelers, I had a couple vehicles, and then I was like, man, I need more money because I wanted to buy more things. So then I picked up, second jobs here and there, and I was doing other things for extra money. And then before you know it, you look around, it's like even though I bought all these toys and different things like that, I had no time because I was always working. And I enjoyed, don't get me wrong, I mean, I enjoyed working, but I enjoy having a life a lot more. And I started doing online, well, I'll get to when I started online, but I have strictly been online since May of last year, so May of 2013. I've only been doing whatever income I generate online, and have all kinds of free time. I've been able to travel and take more trips than I've ever, taken in my life. And as much as I like sales and that, that career, I like having a life a lot better. And I think that's the thing that relates to most people. I think, a lot of people are out there in jobs, and maybe they like their job, but they would like to have just some more free time or some more income that they could, use, to go do the things they want to do, even if it's just weekend trips or family vacations. Because a lot of times I run into people who are working just, working paycheck to paycheck just to survive, and they don't have that extra money. So that's the thing I like about this industry, is that you can generate as much income as you want, depending on how hard you are willing to work for it. But the way I fell into this online industry, and actually when I came across or ran into Roy, was I had had a success in my life. I had worked sales, customer service since, like I said, 98. Well, then about 3 or 4 years ago, actually before that, the economy started tanking a little bit, but about 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, no one in my family had ever graduated, and I was like, I'm going to go back to school and be the first one in my family to get a degree and stuff like that, because my parents were getting older, and I was like, it would be something that would, make them proud, and then I thought, it would be something that would actually help me in my career too. So when I originally decided to go back to school, I was really good on the computer, so they tried to push me towards business information systems, which would get you into doing like website designs and different things like that, and fixing problems when people have problems with their networks. Well, then I took my very first class, and it was taught a lot of like HTML coding and different things like that. And then I was sat there and I was like, this sucks. It's cool to know how to do this stuff, but there's no way I'm gonna be sitting in a cubicle, for the rest of my life, trying to figure out where a semicolon or a colon or a bracket is missing from someone's code. I was like, this isn't for me. I'd always been interested in business and had been doing sales, so I always liked as crazy as it was, like I like advertisements and ads. I mean, I don't like to have my life bombarded with them, but I like the science behind it. I like seeing ads. I like seeing the methods that people are using to sell, whether it's their cars, pizza, financials, or everything, just commercials. Like I just get interested to see the methods and different things that people are trying to use. And even when you go to markets or stores, just the way, how people position stuff or do their point of purchase displays, I got really interested in the science behind that. So I decided, I really like that, so I'll go for marketing. I'll go to business school and go for marketing. So I ended up going to out here to Eastern Michigan University, to the College of Business, and got my degree in marketing. But while I was going for completing my degree, they were teaching about different methods of marketing, and it was basically traditional marketing, the ways that people traditionally advertise. But then they would say, well, now with the times changing, you need to know how to advertise and market and promote yourself online, promote your product online, create a brand, get established online, and create a presence. Well, none of them could teach that because none of them had ever do. They had a ton of experience, traditional marketing or in advertising firms and different things like that, but none of them had actually done any kind of online marketing or online advertising. So I started looking up ways that I could learn about, that industry and learn about doing some online advertising and marketing. And that's how I came across this industry. And I basically went on there to get information so I could learn and know how to do it for myself to go along with, this degree. And I ended up finding, this information out there, and turned out to be a business opportunity. And I was like, man, this is like perfect. Now I can use this information, learn all about it, teach others about it, and use it to help not only grow my business, but grow other people's business. And then you get into where you, like Roy's talking about, where you can offer your services as a coach or a consultant, or go in there and just help different people out. And that's how I ended up in this industry. And I've been here, like I said, ever since. That was when I started doing the online, or started looking at online marketing. That was like the beginning of 2012, like early spring 2012. So in just a little over 2 years, I went from just being curious and trying to find out some information online to being my only source of, basically a source of income. And I enjoy it. And the thing that, and I forget what Roy said that this webinar is called, how to make money fast online.
Fastest and easiest way to make money on the internet.
Fastest and easiest way to make money on the internet. And the thing that a lot of people don't realize, and I like that this is not going to be something that's just going to be just we're going to do it in 1 hour and move on. This is going to be something that we're going to go from here going forward. It's going to basically be a series instead of, because I think when you hear that fastest and easiest way to make money online, well, some people think, okay, I'm going to go watch a webinar, I'm going to buy something, and then tomorrow I'm going to be rich. And the thing is I don't want those kind of people, and I know Roy doesn't want those kind of people either, because the people who think they can just buy one thing and then and no matter what that costs, if it costs $50 or if it costs $5,000, there's no guarantee you're going to make money off of it tomorrow if you don't know the proper methods and proper strategies to implement what, the products or information that you've just purchased. And the thing is there's a lot of people out there that, and I think it's just a result of the industry and the bad advertising and marketing that's out there, that a lot of people promote it. Buy this and you're going to be rich tomorrow, or buy this and you see this Ferrari that I'm sitting in front of, or this Lamborghini, or this mansion and stuff that they've rented for an hour or a couple hours, or they went to an open house that a realtor was having, and they're shooting videos while the realtor is showing the house or something like that. So I think the industry got a bad image. And those are the kind of people that are really like attracted to that. They want to make that money like super quick, like overnight, like that. Those aren't even the people that I want in my business. You can get those people. You can pretty much go up to anybody. I mean, if you go anywhere where there's 100 people and you say, "Oh, would you want to make $1,000 by tomorrow?" I mean, most people are probably going to say yes. More of them are going to say yes than are going to say no, and then you're going to have some skeptical people. But so you can always get people who say they want to make money, but then there's a lot of them that when they don't make money within a few days, they're gone. You never hear from them again. What we're looking for are the people who have the right mindset or are willing to learn that how much of this business is tied to your mindset, because there's a lot of things like Roy was talking about that get in the way, that try obstacles that you have to overcome. And a lot of times it comes from the people who are supposed to be the most supportive, in your life, your friends, your family, your loved ones, and they claim that they're just looking out for your best interest. But really, a lot of times what ends up being is that they're just afraid of the unknown, because they've seen these bad ads or the reputation that's out there, and they don't understand exactly what it is that you're doing for your business. And that's why you have to, and sometimes people say it sounds cliche, but you almost have to work harder on yourself than you do your business. But you definitely have to work as hard as yourself as you do on yourself as you do as your business, if you ever want to see any kind of success in this industry. And like Roy said earlier, you can't go it all alone. It's very, very few and far between for people who can pick up something and run with it and see immediate success without having someone else helping them or guide them or kind of putting them in the right direction. And that's what I think you're going to get from these weekly webinars. We're going to help you understand the science behind it, what the things you have to do to get yourself right up here to be prepared for success. Because even people that do, say you made $5,000, say you ran some paid advertising, something like that, for your online business, and you made $5,000. Well, then you're like, okay, I just made $5,000. Now I got to go spend, I'm gonna go spend $4,000 of that or $5,000 to make $10,000. It doesn't always work that way, and you're back to where you were at, in the beginning. So there's a lot of things you're going to learn from some of the things that Roy's going to teach about your goals, about making them smart goals, and have a realistic expectations for yourself, to know that this is something that you have to know what is your driving factor, to what's your motivation, what is your why to keep you going, and you have to, as a buddy of ours, Aaron, start with your end in mind. You have to know where you're going and be willing to know that you're not going to be there tomorrow. It might be a year from now before you're at where you want to be, but the thing is, you just have to believe that you're going to get there and not give up, because there's a lot of people that try to knock you down, and you've got to be able to overcome all that. So I'm looking forward to, excited about this, because we've been doing these webinars basically every week since April, but we were doing from April until, what are we in now? We're going into October. We basically did 5 months of pretty much selling on webinars with a little bit of training, just buy, and here we're going to help you get into some of the nuts and bolts behind what it is that actually we do to see success online. And I think that's what a lot of people are going to gain value from if you're ready for it. You've got to definitely have the mindset and be ready for it, because if you're not ready to absorb it, then it won't work for you. But for the people that are watching this and they're watching on the replays, and know that they are ready to learn something new or learn, what they've been doing wrong. And it's not just, like Roy said, it's not just the new people. There's a lot of people who do it for a long time that need to refocus or kind of get stuck in their ways and need to see, what other people are doing and kind of reconnect with people. And that's a lot of reason why, a lot of people think, oh, companies a lot of times have events and they think, oh, they just have events so they can sell products and different things like that. But the reason a lot of companies have events is because they know that out of sight, out of mind kind of a thing, where if you don't have something to keep kind of rekindling that fire and lighting that fire, putting a spark under, someone's feet, it's gonna, they're gonna lose interest or just not be as motivated as they were. And that's, and I don't know where I was going with that, but it's just that to say that, if you've been doing it a long time, maybe you've had some success, you always got to be willing to learn new things and not say, oh, I already knew that, or, I already know what I'm doing. You've got to have an open mind and be willing to learn new things and then put those things into action. So I'm really excited to see where this ends up going and, finish out the year strong with it.
Hey, thanks, Jay. And that kind of leads me to kind of the next thing is we're basically, just so we can have a forum, we'll set up a Facebook group and so everybody can kind of get in there and make comments, ask questions, just get to know each other. It's just a way of building some camaraderie, learning from each other. We all have something to share, and it's important. Even if you're new, you pick up a tidbit somewhere, and then you share that tidbit with somebody else that may not know that. And so we'll create a Facebook group, and I don't know if this is even available, fastest, easiest way to make money on the internet, but we'll try to find some variation of that we can call it. And I'm hoping that you all will join. It's we're not charging for this. This is a way of helping you. You've seen the movie. What was it? Who was in that movie? Anyway, Pass It On, or Jay, help me out here. What was the name of that?
I had to get my mic back. Pay It Forward.
Pay It Forward. Yes. So I've received so much help from so many people, and we want to help you become successful. Now, if you're really serious about learning, we want people who are going to be with us for the long haul. We're not looking for to sell you something and have you run off. And in fact, I have nothing to sell you, actually. But if you would like to join Jay or I in our, in some of our businesses, we would be very happy for you to contact us, and we will, we're not going to try to sell you something that just for selling you something, or we're not going to just push you into something that maybe it's not right for you. So we will, we're happy to do some little personal coaching with you. And if you're interested in getting into a business you can make a lot of money, and you can make it very fast, and it's only for people who are willing to work, but we will help you. We will find something that works for you, and so that's always an option. We'd like to first give. You always want to give, and remember this, it's very important. Always give before you ask to get. This is true with anything. If you do a good deed, it may not come around today, it may not come around tomorrow, but eventually, I believe in karma, and I've seen it work over and over and over again. So you do something good for somebody, and something good will happen to you. And as Zig Ziglar said, you may not know who Zig Ziglar is, but he was one of the greatest salesmen of the world. He said, if you help enough people get what they want and what they need, you will always have what you want and you need. I think those are words to live by. So let's get into your head a little bit right now, because we only have a few minutes. So we'll probably carry this over to next week. If this, hopefully this time works for you, but if it's something that we can do, we could vary it if we have a big enough following of people and they don't like Sunday nights, we'll work something else. If everybody that's watching us is in Australia or something, and you want to do it in your evening, then we'll figure out something to do it in our morning. We'll work with it. We'll work with this. So, getting your head on straight. It's extremely important that you build this stamina within yourself. Now, do you have any idea? We have a chat section here, so I'd like to just have a shout out. Everybody just say, yeah. I'd like to see if we can get a few people, see if anybody's actually awake out there, and just say yes. I would like to get my head on straight. You wouldn't believe the number of psychiatrists and psychologists, and we all have problems, okay? We all have problems. There's not anybody that doesn't have something going on in the head. And unfortunately, our brain was designed this way. It may not make a lot of sense, but it was designed to keep us alive and to protect us, okay? And sometimes it's protecting us. It's causing us, like if you sit down to write a paper and your mind goes blank, that's that protection. It's because it knows that you could fail, you could get made fun of. There are so many things, just like getting into a business. Your brain will work against you all the time. So there's actually 3 sections to your brain. There's like the area where the spinal column is attached. That part of the brain just keeps you breathing and keeps the body systems kind of operating. And then then there's the mammalian, the mammalian brain. So that we share with all mammals, and it does all the subconscious thinking, the things we don't have to think about. And the fight or flight response is inside that part of the brain. Now, the fight or flight has a lot of good reason to be there. Let's say we don't have to go back in time. We can just go, you're out hiking in the woods and you see a bear. Now, I've had this happen. We saw a bear cub, and as cute as they are, you don't want to see a bear cub. You know why? Because Mama Bear is not far behind, and if anybody comes close to that cub, you're dead meat. I mean, seriously, you're dead meat. Mama bears do not take kindly to strangers fondling their cub. Okay, especially out in the wilderness. They don't understand that. You're there, it's like, oh, how cute, let's take some pictures. No, don't even consider that. But let's just say you see the mama bear, so you think, oh, well, it's a really cute cub, but then mama bear comes after you. What happens at that point? That's when the fight or flight is really important, is because you want to make tracks to get out of there now and hope that she doesn't want to follow you very far, because she can outrun you. Or if there's two of you, make sure you have the tennis shoes on, and because so you can run faster than the other guy, and you're all right. So, but if the other guy's a good friend, you may not want him to be mauled by the bear either. So, so the fight or flight response has a definite purpose. But let's think about what happens to an animal or a person. Yeah, but let's take an animal. So when there's a deer out in the woods and he gets a whiff of a mountain lion looking over at him rather hungrily, the deer doesn't stop to think, what should I do here? No, immediately that part of the brain goes, run, go now, as fast as you can. Otherwise, you're somebody's dinner. But what happens to the rest of the body systems at that point is what we call stress, anxiety. It shows itself in those forms. Okay, fear is a big one. It shows itself in those forms, and we don't understand that it's a normal body system. We think there's something wrong with us because we lose our appetite, or maybe we start gorging on food. We have difficulties with bodily functions, and you know what I mean. I don't want to get into graphic things, but there's, our body tenses up, and our muscles are tense, and our body doesn't operate like it should. Yeah, and these are all things that are there to protect us, but they also hinder us from accomplishing what we need to accomplish. If your boss says, I need this order out now, and there is a fear of losing your job, you will get tense. You will come home just stressed out, achy. Your body isn't functioning right. And the same thing can happen when you try to start your own business, or if you want to start doing videos. If you want to go out and sell something to somebody, your body is going to react negatively, and so you're going to think there's something wrong with you, or that your body is telling you you shouldn't do this. And that's not true. It's your body telling you that you have a fear. The fear has triggered your fight or flight response, but you can't fight or flight, because how do you fly away from an assignment that's given to you by your boss. You can't. I mean, when you're stuck in a job, all you have to do, you just deal with that stress. That's why you come home so irritable. That's why you come home so you're knotted, you know, your neck and your back is all knotted up, because you can't. But when you try to run your own business, then you can have a flight response. You basically quit and say, well, I can't do this. It's too hard. I've heard this from so many people. It's like, well, I can't sell. I get all tongue-tied and I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to do it. But that's how we react. So if you're in a job where you don't have the luxury of saying, hey, boss, hey, I'm just not going to do that, because you get fired unless, you know, you want to get fired. But when you're trying to operate your own business, you do have that option. You can just say, okay, I'm not going to do that. It causes me stress. You've got to understand what's causing that stress. It's the unknown. It's you triggered the fight or flight response in your brain. So it's extremely important when we're setting our goals and when we're projecting what it is we want to do, that we do it in such small increments that we don't trigger the fight or flight response in our brain, because we know what that causes. I mean, it causes our body to get all out of whack. It causes us to get tense. It causes us to be irritable to others. And it's just not a pleasant experience. And this is why so many people fail when they try to start a business on their own. And so I know, you know, you came here thinking I want to learn the fastest, easiest way to make money on the internet. We're going to teach you that. But if you're not mentally prepared, if you're not prepared emotionally, if you're not prepared in having a plan, you're going to fail. And so what good is it if I show you, and I can show you the fastest, easiest way to make money. Jay can too. We know what the fastest, easiest way to make money is. But if you're not ready for it, what good is it going to do? You will fail if you're not ready. Now, if you think you're ready and you say, oh, Roy, Jay, I'm ready. You know, let me at it. Contact us. I'm just saying I don't believe you are ready yet, and we're going to help you. We're going to take you there in baby steps. Now we're at it's an hour, and I want these to stop at about an hour. So I'm going to let Jay say a couple words, and this is kind of your introduction. So everybody, share this video. We aren't trying to sell anything. We're not trying to push anything. We want to help you. And so we really appreciate it if you would tell other people about this. You don't have to be afraid that hey, we're going to be pushing something down your friend's throat. If you know somebody that would like to just be a better person, whether they want to run a business or not, there's a lot of things we're going to teach that are just going to help you in a career, help you in a marriage, help you with your children, help you with life in general. So invite everybody. We'd love to have you, and share this video with everybody you know. And Jay, go ahead and close us out.
I just want to touch upon, you know, we talked a little bit earlier about what we're trying to generate here and kind of the community we're going to have here. And Roy talked about, doing videos, and maybe you're shooting that first video. And that's what we're going to have a page for, and we're going to be able to have that community, because we're going to be here for you when the other people are kind of trying to knock you down. We're going to be here. There's a lot of different tips and tricks that we can do. We can like and comment on your videos, and you can do the same for us and kind of get some reciprocity going here. And the thing I also want to touch upon is, because we're going to take this slow, because we want to protect you, because we've been in situations, I have probably spent or lost, or however you want to say it, $15,000 to $20,000, I bet you, in the last year, a little over a year, just trying different things out that didn't work, because I thought, oh, this is going to make me money so fast, and then I'm going to be good to go. And I know Roy has been in situations where he's spent a lot more than that, on different things that were going to take his business, at different times here and there, or maybe something else, just for a new. And he could speak to that. I don't even want to say what that, but I just know he's been in a similar situation where we both have put money out there, and this is people, we're people that have experience of doing this, and we just don't want you to go through that same thing. There's no way to jump in and just take off immediately without running into things. And we went through kind of that trials and tribulations, and we've hit those obstacles, and we've learned how to overcome them, and that's what we want to be here to help you do. And like Roy said, if you want to get started faster, reach out to us, either on Facebook or through our email or whatever, and you can reach out to us if you think you're ready for that yet, or already ready for that, or if it's something you want to get started and have going, while you're going through these lessons. But otherwise, yeah, just we're going to build something good here. It's going to be a good community. It's going to be a good core group of people, and we're doing it for the right things. We're not doing it for the right reasons. We're not doing it here to, sell you something every week. It's not going to be something where we're going to, you're going to always have to be worried at the end of it. We're going to say, now buy this. We're here just to help you, get you on the right track. And like Roy said, this can be for, maybe it's not even an online business. Maybe it's something you're trying to do. Maybe you have an offline business and you're just trying to, learn, how you can, get your head right and get everything focused and all your tools aligned to help grow that business. So it's going to be, it's definitely going to be something that I think that it's definitely something that's going to be, everyone who, no matter who you are, is going to be able to get something of value from it. And it's something that's definitely rare that you have people, and we're going to have people on here too, guests or people that probably come out with us throughout the week. And maybe if we get people that are kind of going through this, and we'll come out here and give some testimonies to, how some of these methods have been able to help them. But it's something that you're going to get, a rare opportunity that you're going to get all this information for free, and it's not a program that we're selling you. So I'm looking forward to having everybody here. I mean, that's really all I've got on that for this week.
Okay. Thank you, Jay. Thank you all for joining us, and we hope that you'll be back every week, and we're going to just take you step by step, all through the process. So we're going to make you successful, and we will help you. We're going to help you. That's what we're here for. So good night, and we love you all. Take care, and thank you all for joining us. Goodbye.